If we get to the core of Nietzsche's critique of Platonism and Christianism, we can quickly conclude that the reason behind it was that they prevented people from affirming their lives and living life to the fullest. These ideologies are based on the existence of a true world, which stipulates that this earthly reality is flawed and that there exists a better, more perfect reality. For Plato, it's the world of forms. For Christianity, it's heaven. Nietzsche fought anything that claimed that there is a metaphysical division between the natural and the supernatural worlds, because these dualistic worldviews pushed people to reject this world by promising a better imaginary alternative in the future. According to Nietzsche, this was a deadly value. Deadly because it makes us reject the essence of life. In other words, reject our vital force and our will to power. The true world was invented as an escape from this world. He sees it as a negation of life, vitality, and passion. Nietzsche's perspective can make us think of Karl Marx's famous statement, "Religion is the opium of the people." In this statement, Marx was criticizing the role of religion in society. He believed that religion acted as a balm for life suffering, as well as a distraction from the harsh realities of exploitation under capitalism. Just as opium can provide temporary pain relief without addressing the underlying cause, religion offers solace without changing the harsh conditions of people's lives. Marx viewed religion as a means by which people were pacified and distracted from the need for revolutionary change. Marx and Nietzsche shared similar reasoning in their critiques, even though they had different targets. Nietzsche focused on promoting his moral perspective and his admiration for life, while Marx critiqued capitalism and advocated for his political and economic views. Now let's pause for a moment. What do you think is the modern equivalent of what Nietzsche and Marx fought against over 150 years ago? What today is the thing that keeps us distracted and prevents us from living life to the fullest? It's not Christianity or Platonism anymore, it's entertainment. Today, entertainment serves the same role as what Nietzsche and Marx critiqued in their times. The constant bombardment of social media platforms, video games, and streaming services is our modern day opium. It has become a form of escapism in our lives, much like the metaphysical promises of religion. It provides an easy escape from any challenge or problem we face in real life. The real issue is that it's incredibly easy to access, so we always have pleasure and comfort at our fingertips, which makes us less likely to face life as it is. Entertainment is our shot of opium. It offers temporary pleasure and relief without addressing our underlying issues. Instead, it creates a cycle of dependency, where we constantly seek the next distraction to numb our minds and avoid dealing with the real problems at hand. This daily cheap dopamine rush prevents us from reflecting on our lives and making meaningful changes. Most of the time, meaningful changes require courage, discomfort, and sacrifices, all of which are frowned upon in the constant presence of cheap pleasure and entertainment. With algorithms designed to keep us engaged, we find ourselves in a cycle of passive consumption, which can lead to a sense of emptiness and disconnection from our true selves and the world around us. We become spectators rather than participants. We become consumers rather than creators. On average, people spend over 4 hours and 25 minutes of their day on their phones. In a year, this adds to a significant amount of time spent on distractions. Netflix's main competitor is your sleep, and TikTok offers money to buy your time and keep you on the app. This is why entertainment is much more severe and destructive than opium, because it's not just about instant relief. It's about numbing you and making you unaware of how precious your time and attention are. If you fail to recognize this reality, you'll waste your life entertaining yourself. That's why it's crucial to examine the role of entertainment in our lives and make the necessary changes to break free from this passive numbing cycle. I believe that entertainment isn't all evil and that you don't need to live in monk mode to be successful or have a meaningful life. Entertainment can be used as a source of joy and relaxation, and even social bonding, but only in a dedicated setting and timing. Because it's all about balance when it comes to entertainment. It only becomes dangerous when you don't know that it's entertainment. It becomes problematic when the lines get blurred, when you can't distinguish between the meaningful projects and the entertainment time. When it gets fully integrated in your life, when you can't make the difference between your entertainment time and your work time, for example. When it becomes a habit, a reflex. When you wake up, the first thing you do is check Instagram. When, for example, before bed, you need to scroll for 2 hours on TikTok or watch countless Netflix series. This is the problem with entertainment, is that it slowly gets fully integrated in your life. And the key message here is that it's not all evil and it has a lot of benefits. So you should use it accordingly. You should consciously choose your entertainment activities and set specific times and settings for them. Because entertainment isn't all equal. You can't compare watching a movie with your friends and having quality time with people you love with 4 hours of watching Netflix or 2 hours of scrolling on TikTok. These are not the same activities at all. You have one category that will leave you feeling energized and motivated and refreshed, and the other will leave you exactly the opposite, will leave you feeling drained and overstimulated and even sometimes in a bad mood, worse off than you actually started. So you need to make a clear distinction between the activities and only let the positive ones or the ones that have a positive effect in your life. By organizing the activity, we become more conscious about what we consume. Instead of allowing it to dominate our lives, we can seek a balance that allows us to enjoy entertainment while still prioritizing real-life experiences and personal growth. An American author named Postman wrote an incredible book about this topic called Amusing Ourselves to Death. In his book, Postman argues that everything has been turned into entertainment. Our politics, religion, news, athletics, commerce, and even our education have all been turned into forms of entertainment. This has weakened our ability to reflect on society's important questions and distinguish between serious and unserious matters. He says that each medium, either words or images, is appropriate for a particular level of understanding and knowledge. This means that if you diffuse the same message on different media, it won't be perceived in the same way. When television took over and replaced printed text like journals, it changed the mode of consumption from active to passive. It also diluted the messages being communicated, making them more commoditized and easy to digest. Contrary to written text, television doesn't promote rational argument or critical thinking. It promotes entertainment. The news of the day stopped being a reliable source of news and became an entertainment show with music, commercials, and handsome people. Postman claims that written words convey the truth more accurately than images. He argues that images can be interpreted in various ways and do not provide an objective representation of reality. Consequently, our culture's reliance on images makes it difficult to differentiate between fact and fiction, as we often believe what we see. With images, there is a tendency not to think critically, and the information is directly assimilated as if it were true. Today's world is built around images. The world of images is a world of deception, buzz, and quick reactions. What has started with television is now exacerbated with platforms like Instagram and TikTok. So why is this book relevant to our discussion on entertainment? Because Postman makes you realize the dangers of our image-based society that is represented of all our forms of entertainment today. But that's not it. He also makes an incredibly useful comparison between two classic books, 1984 by George Orwell and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This comparison is useful because it helps us find the right solution to escape this generalized madness of entertainment and will also put us in the right mindset to live a meaningful life. When we talk about the generalization of media, smartphones, or our sedentary lifestyles, we often tend to blame the governments or the companies creating them. You often hear that mainstream media and social media platforms are dumbing us down to better control us. This scenario can be described as Orwellian. In his book 1984, Orwell describes a time when a totalitarian power controls everything in our lives and is constantly watching us. This government's purpose is to better control us by controlling information, eliminating words from language, and rewriting history. In contrast, we have the Huxleyan view, stemming from Aldous Huxley's book Brave New World. In his dystopian novel, Huxley describes a future society driven by technological advancements, pleasure, and a rigid caste system. In this society, people spend their time chasing pleasures by having sex with one another and drugging themselves with a drug called soma to escape reality. Our problem today with entertainment is more Huxleyan than Orwellian. This can be seen as good news because Huxley puts the responsibility on us and our infinite appetite for pleasure, whereas Orwell makes it appear as if we're victims and we can't escape our destiny. The reality is that we aren't that much oppressed by the government regarding information, critical thinking, or freedom. Instead, we're oppressed by our own addiction to entertainment. We're oppressed by our lack of discipline and lack of direction. We're oppressed by our obsession with the unreal and the irrelevant, such as reality shows and video games. As human beings, we're always looking to entertain ourselves, and we have countless ways to do so. In the past, people never really got to satisfy this appetite as much as we do today. They might have had the same longing for entertainment, but they didn't have the means to satisfy it. Every culture or civilization had its own entertainment, but they were nowhere as frequent or intense as we have. In ancient Rome, you had gladiator fights, strikes, concerts, theater shows, military reviews, and public executions. But all these cannot be compared to the non-stop distractions provided today by social media, cinema, and TV. These distractions have shortened our attention span, making us unable to focus on any hard task or have long-term objectives. Our society has become programmed to only desire what's quick and easy, what's going to spike our dopamine immediately. However, in reality, anything worthwhile takes effort and time. A sharp mind, a healthy body, and a good income all take time to build. In a letter to George Orwell about 1984, Huxley wrote, "Within the next generation, I believe that the world's rulers will discover that infant conditioning and narco-hypnosis are more efficient as instruments of government than clubs and prisons, and that the lust for power can be just as completely satisfied by suggesting people into loving their servitude as by flogging and kicking them into obedience." If you observe our society today, you'll realize that Huxley was right. In the foreword of his book, Amusing Ourselves to Death, Neil Postman writes, "What Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one. Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information. Huxley feared those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egoism. Orwell feared that the truth would be concealed from us. Huxley feared that the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. In 1984, people are controlled by inflicting pain. In Brave New World, they are controlled by inflicting pleasure. In short, Orwell feared that what we hate will ruin us. Huxley feared that what we love will ruin us." The key takeaway is that we're fully responsible for our actions and decisions. It's our duty to resist temptations and distractions. It's our duty to have our own opinions and forge our path. It's our duty to be rebellious. Rebellion isn't on the streets anymore. It's in our lives and choices. Rebellion is behavior change. This is our mission today. It's to lead by example and create positive change on our scale. Our focus shouldn't be on pleasure and comfort, but rather on purpose and moderation. Thank you for watching.